So tonight I'm going to show you how to navigate and use Pinterest.com. All I did was type it into the URL up here, and this is what popped up. Now I'm going to click login because I have an account, obviously. If you don't, you can just click sign up. Super quick, real easy. Takes about 15 seconds according to them. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Ta-da! This is my Pinterest. Basically, I guess to start, all of these pins, as they're called, here, they're usually pictures that lead to websites. This is sort of like a Facebook newsfeed, if you're familiar with that. All the people that I follow, these are things that they post. And when they post them, they show up in my newsfeed, and I can just kind of scroll through them and read them and see which ones I like and don't like. Let's see. This looks delicious. So, somebody posted this, or pinned it, as it's called, and I can send it to some of my friends. I can send it to my sister. Let's say I want to send it to my sister, and I want to leave a message that says, let's make this for dinner one night. Okay, and I just send it to her. It'll pop up saying I sent it to her, sort of like an instant message. I can just get rid of it. It'll sit right here in case I want to pull it up again, or I can just get rid of it altogether. Now when someone sends you something like I just sent my sister, she'll get a little notification up here. And these are messages. This is what people have specifically sent to me. So this is the one I just sent to my sister. It's kind of like an inbox. I sent one to my friend. You know, send lots of pins. This is like a news feed in words, I guess. Some of the people that I follow, it'll tell me all the things that they've pinned and done, and that's a kind of a way to keep track of the people that you follow, aside from the things that just pop up on your regular news feed. And this is my actual profile. These categories are what's called boards, and you can create a board and label it anything you want, and these are some of the ones that I have. Pinterest is more or less a bookmarking site. Sometimes it's just fun to find projects, like this is my DIY, my do-it-yourself board, with all kinds of neat little projects that I want to try, and so I just kind of pin them to this board, and it saves them forever and ever and ever, and I can go back around Christmas time and say, you know, that's cute, let me make that for my sister, and I click it, and it shows up as a picture. And these are all the other ones that I pinned in that same folder. And if you just click the picture, it'll take you to a website. And this website usually has more details. So that cup was one of the things listed on this website. Scroll down till you find it. There it is. And you click it again. It'll tell you how to make it. Tutorial here. All kinds of fun stuff. And it pops it up as a tab, which you can't see because the screen's not big enough. But it brings it up in its own tab, so I can just X out this tab, and I'm right back to where I started. I can X out the picture, and we're back to all the pins on my DIY board. So that's something cool, just to kind of keep things in mind for later. And if I go back, these are all of my boards. Of course, every girl has a wedding board. There's mine. My sister's getting married next year, so this is the board I made for her. And it's kind of neat because it's a cool way to plan things. I have all sorts of things in here for the bachelorette party, for, you know, favors, decorations, all kinds of stuff in here. So that's a really cool way to, you know, over the next year, pin everything that I like that I think will work for her wedding or that I want to do for her wedding. And then I can just come back and it's all right here. So that's kind of a neat way to plan things. And I actually have one for teacher prep. Now this is the one I created for my bookmarking assignment for ISTC 301. I called it Schooling and Such, and it's just neat little things. Some of them are like cheat ways to kind of do things. Like these are things you'll find at the hardware store that you can use in your classroom, save you money, cool little ideas for the classroom, things like that. Let's play Jeopardy at school, so that's sort of like a lesson plan or a graphic organizer that I can utilize down the road. Cool ways that I've seen people decorate their classrooms that I can keep in mind for down the road. Just things I think will be helpful for when I get my own classroom. And this is obviously a fantastic way to keep track of things and go back and find all of these things, because it's not realistic to bookmark them all in your computer and try to remember them for 2 years from now when I get my own classroom. So this is a pretty neat way to do it. I've tried to look for ways to integrate technology into the classroom. This is called Instagram in Education. Cool way just to relate to the teenagers and make the lesson plan more interesting. Trivia with Shakespeare. It's always a good time. Here's a really neat one, 27 apps that have transformed my teaching and their learning. It's a good one to keep in mind. But yeah, so you can just create different boards, and you can always add people to see a specific board. Everybody who follows me can see all of my boards. Now, I can only pin to my boards unless someone gives me special permission to pin to their board. So this is the board that my sister created, and there's actually 3 people that are allowed to pin to it, and so it's kind of like a cooperative board, I guess. Team effort here. I'm allowed to pin to it, my sister, whose board it is, and then her fiance's sister. So we all kind of put our ideas into this board, and we can see what each other is thinking for bridesmaids' dresses and decorations and yada yada yada. So that's kind of a cool way to do that too, instead of sending a million pins back and forth. That's a neat way to keep track of them. Let's see, if I want to search specifically, let's say I want to search DIY Christmas gifts. It'll come up and it breaks it into kind of keywords for you. You can type it in as a phrase, you can type it in as random words. It'll set it up for you. It'll come up with all these neat pins to give you ideas for Christmas presents and all kinds of cool stuff. And I found it really useful for last year, especially come Christmas time. I'm sure I'll be back here. And that gives you suggestions up here. Like I can say DIY Christmas gifts, cheap. We're all in college, we want cheap. And it'll bring up, pins with all these keywords or related pins, and that's always a way to kind of narrow your search. If you don't want to narrow your search and you just want to search by random categories, here are the featured categories. These are the standard categories, and then obviously this month there's a Halloween one. So if I wanted to look at what's popular on Pinterest, I just click that. And this is everybody, whether I follow them, I don't follow them. This is everybody who has a Pinterest account. These are the most popular pins. So the most pinned pins show up on this page. So it's ever changing. Obviously, every day it's different. Every hour it's probably different. That's pretty cool. Way too hard, but pretty cool. All kinds of things. Some of them are quotes, some of them are food, some of them are workouts, clothes, I don't know, all kinds of fun stuff. It's easy to kill hours of time on here. Let's see what else. If we go home, this is how you just get home. You can just click the P. Back to my newsfeed. I can invite my friends. I can go on my Facebook or into my email, and I can invite friends to Pinterest. Make them create their own Pinterest so that I can send them pins back and forth, or they can see mine. That's a cool way of doing it. Okay, this is my newsfeed. Let's say I'm scrolling, and I like this pin. I can just hover over it, and As I showed you before, you can send it to somebody or you can pin it. If I want to pin it, let's say I like it and I want to remember it, I can click here, and these are all my boards. Obviously, I'm going to pin it to my foodie board, and it gives you a little description, which you can delete and change if you want. And I pin it. Oh, apparently it has to have one. Ta-da! So it's pinned to my board, and then it'll bring up a suggested board. It's been added to mine, and this is somebody else's board that it's telling me that I might like. Now, I didn't want to follow that, so I just got out of it real quick. But you can just hit follow, and you'll start following their board immediately, and it'll start showing up on your news feed. You just keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Let's say I like this, and I don't want to pin it, but I think it's cool. I can just click like. That's it. It just sends somebody a notification telling them that I like their picture, that they're cool, they pinned something that was cool. So, as you can see, there's so many different things. And you can gear it towards whatever you want. You can follow all kinds of different boards based on your hobbies, based on things you want to keep in mind. It's great for planning things. So it's really useful. And it's just plain fun. It's a good way to kill time. It's a good way to see what kind of things are out there. And it's great because you can just click on something and it'll take you right to the website, the original website, and if you can find other things on those websites, or you can just bookmark those websites into your actual computer for other reasons. But this is pretty cool. I'm a very visual person, and so to have everything in pictures like this is really cool, like this, things to keep in mind for when I get my own house, just things that make me smile. You're having a bad day, come back, look at this board. It's pretty great. It's really easy to use. It's really useful. I suggest everybody have one. My mom has one, and she just looks at everything. And she doesn't really know how to use it or to send pins to anybody, and so she takes pictures of the pins that she likes and then comes into my room and shows me them and says, look, let's do this for Sam's wedding. So maybe I'll make her watch this tutorial. It'll be helpful. Maybe then she can just send them to me on Pinterest, and I'll get them right here in my notifications. That's really it. When you're done, you just click on your profile, go here to settings, log out, takes you right back to the home page, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is Pinterest. I hope you go get one. Enjoy.